Well, hello. It's 2020, a brand new year, and I thought I'd do a follow-up. It's been about, 2 years ago. Hi, my name is Sandy Crane, owner and designer at Neo Nappy. About 2 years ago, I did a video talking about self-bullying, which I have been a victim of for most of my life. But I'm happy to say that in 2020, at the time of this video shooting, it's January 18th, 2020, and I am 53 years old, just turned 53 last month, December 11th, so I'm thankful for that. And I look pretty good for 53, don't I? Anyway, yeah. But listen, I don't know if you saw the video back then, but I had a character in that video that I'm gonna bring back to you, and here she is, Sybil Sands. She's still with me. My alter ego. And for those of you that may be listening on an audio platform only, Sybil Sands is basically a mannequin head that very much resembles my likeness. But I'm happy to say now that in 2020, I can take the tape off of Sybil Sands' mouth, because I no longer let my alter ego control me in the negative way that she did before. And as a disclaimer in this video, I am not a doctor. I have no training in doctoring, Scientology, scientifics, anything regarding the study of the human brain or human behavior. As a matter of fact, the only PhD I probably have ever acquired or recently is putting my hand down. PhD. Basically putting my hand down and stop trying to get everyone to approve of me, trying to find someone to say nice things about me, make me feel good. So that's my PhD, putting my hand down. So thank you for joining me. I won't take a very long time, but I wanted to talk briefly about basically the follow-up on that self-bullying issue. Controlling that bitch in the mirror. Making peace with her, and if you're a gentleman watching, making peace with him. And mind you, I haven't gone through this amazing transformation. I haven't won the lottery all of a sudden. My whole life has changed. A lot of my situation is still the same as it was when I made that video a couple of years ago. But first and foremost, I want to thank, I had a tremendous response, and people that watched that video, about 800 and some people, which I really appreciate. Mine, I may have watched it about 10 times, so I kind of added on to the number for myself, but I watched the video also because it's my own therapy. So yeah, I made a video and I looked at it a few times because it makes sense, right? Wouldn't you think? But anyway, I won't drag on about that, but what I've been doing basically over the last couple of years is focusing on me and focusing on some of the things that I love to do. I'm still doing some reading. Show you a couple of my readings lately. This cute little book, minus the little glare there, called Zen. Just a random library book, things that help you to stay balanced. My mother-in-law gave me she loaned me a book the other day, last week or so, and it's really a nice book. It's called Who Moved My Cheese? And it's a really nice, you see, it's a thin little book, and so is this Zen book. It's a really thin little book, doesn't have a whole lot of meat to it, but it'll sure tell you that in a small book, you can get a lot of golden nuggets of knowledge and reminders. So I read both of those recently, and it really does help to, try to stay on peace, keep your balance. Also, one thing that I've done a lot of, going back to a passion of mine, which is sewing and crafting. I got a nice little cute mud cloth bag here that I've made recently. See that? Isn't that cute? Nice little shoulder bag. And you say, hey, I like that. You see that female symbol on there with the Koi shell? Symbol of wealth and women empowerment. If you're interested in actually getting that bag, you can get it on my website, neonappy.net. neonapi.net. But back to the reason why I'm doing this brief follow-up is that sometimes, you'll make a video, you'll be really encouraged within yourself about it, and then you just fall off and like, I'm back down in the dumps again. I hate myself. The world is mean. The world is evil. And maybe two of those points are true. The world still may be mean and evil, but I have been learning how to control my response to this world that we live in because we're in it. There's still going to be pain. There's going to be ups and downs. But for me, I just have been trying so hard to make conscious decisions each and every day, especially lately. Back in the other video, I talked about, my prayer life. And this is not an issue about what you believe or don't believe. I don't care about what you believe or don't believe in that respect. But for me, as far as a level of spirituality, I still do very much spend time in prayer. I try to do my meditations, not like I should. I try to do more of it, but sometimes meditation can just mean going in the corner somewhere and shutting up and being still. Peace be still for a few minutes, especially when it seems like things are going wrong. When things feel kind of out of control, so to speak. And I had a lot of friends, and God bless me, I have a very small circle of amazing people in my life who really keep me up. But if you don't have that, even if you don't have a lot of friends, a lot of people around you, which is not necessarily a bad thing, trust me. Sometimes the more people in your ear and around you, it causes you a lot of noise and friction, so you can't even think. You can't find your peace. So I try to protect my peace as much as possible, which sometimes means cutting folks off. And it doesn't mean because they've done anything terrible in my world. It just means sometimes you have to protect your peace because, we live in a chaotic, very fast-paced world. You don't need me to tell you that. Especially right now with all the different news topics and everything. And sometimes I am finding that I have to pull away from the news, pull away from things, even social media sometimes. And I know that this platform is on social media, but even with my friends, my feeds, I'm trying to filter what I let come in. Because, sometimes Facebook especially, you can get a lot of everything. You can get a lot of bad, you can get a lot of good. You can get a lot of foolishness, fights, and sometimes tragedies. If you live long enough, you will most likely, experience loss. My condolences to those of you that may have experienced a loss in this year 2020 already, or in the recent past. I'm not here to tell you that, that doesn't matter, time heals all wounds. That's some bullshit, and you and I both know that. Because losses are real and pain is real. So I am not at all trying to tell you that your pain is not real. That the pains and losses in this world are not real, because they are. All that I'm trying to fixate upon is my reaction to what happens to me in this life. I'm learning that oftentimes what you put out is what you get back in. If I'm always emanating negativity and I'm on Facebook crying, but I had a terrible day and the world's going to end tomorrow, I'm going to get that same energy right back to me. And as I spoke about my little alter ego Sybil here, the reason why I've been able to take off her mouthpiece, basically to untape her mouth, is because she no longer speaks against me like she used to. I've learned to make peace with that alter ego, because sometimes we are so mean to ourselves that we don't need anybody else to hurt our feelings. We hurt ourselves all the time. So a lot of times in the morning now, those affirmations, you hear about all that stuff, in church or at that meeting or whatever. Oh, just say good things and it'll come to be. You'll manifest it. For some people, that's just a bunch of hogwash, snake oil, as you oftentimes hear it called. But, sometimes if you really do those things, they do make a difference, because I am trying to learn how to program my brain to be in tune with me, who I want to be. So a lot of times now, first thing I get up in the morning is I say, thank you, God, for my breath in my body today. Because somebody didn't get that privilege. Somebody didn't wake up today. So I try as much as possible when I first wake up in the morning to give thanks for life, my health, my strength. And whether you agree or not my soundness of mind, my sanity, because somebody would love to be in my size 9.5 shoes. Trust and believe that. So that's a way that I'm trying so much more now to try in a positive way, consciously, to just start saying things good to myself. Be good to myself. So I'll get in the mirror and like wipe the crust out my eye, like, whew, boy, take a good look. May have a few bags and stuff, maybe in a few grays here and there. But instead of saying the things I used to say, I just try to say, hey, Sam, what's up? You looking good today. Looking pretty good. And Sybil will chime in, yes, you are. You're looking good today, Sam. So wherever you're getting ready to go to, Sam, make it as good of a day as you can. I know you're going to encounter people here and there on the job, yada, yada, yada. But try to make it as best as you can, the best day you can. No matter what happens to you, no matter how you might mess up, if that happens to you today, or if there's a traffic, issue on the road, pray and thank God if you're not part of that traffic mess, and keep moving forward. So for me, each and every single day, I'm trying my best to make conscious decisions, to be peaceful, to be happy. When I go out here and scroll around on Facebook or whatever, try to like the positive things, try to share some stuff, try to encourage somebody else while I'm also encouraging myself. Spending a little time with a library book. If you got a loved one around you, tell them you love them. Don't just assume, they know, whatever. Whether that's a person, a dog, a pet rock, whatever you got to do in your prayer or whatever to your ancestors, if you have an altar in your home to your ancestors, or just a picture of somebody on the wall that you may love and miss, emanate the energy, let it flow from you, because I wasn't the best student in class. I mean, I was pretty good in some subjects, like art, my favorite, lunch, recess, history sometimes. But I did learn a little bit in science about energy never dissipates. It may change its form and stuff like that, but the energy never goes away. So I'm trying my best to learn how to stir up that positive energy. Because, sometimes we go on Facebook and we whine and moan. Some of those things are very legitimate. We all need a base of support. But sometimes people will get tired of you. Every post you put out there is, I just hate my job. I hate you. I hate this, that, and the other. After a while, you're going to find that you might find yourself unfriended. Or you may not even realize that some folks are no longer following you because every time they see your post, it's about something. I hate my life. I hate you. I hate the world. Why is everything happened to me bad? I'm even trying to learn about when you ask yourself those kind of questions. If your brain doesn't have an automatic answer to it, it's going to make up something. I'll give you an example. Why do bad things always happen to me? I'm a good person. I'm a Christian if you are one, or yada, yada, yada. And your brain might give you a response back because you're an idiot. That's why. And who wants to hear that? So I try to even change the questions that I ask myself. Because sometimes if you ask the wrong question, or you don't ask it in the right format, of course you're not going to get a good answer back. What do you expect? Or sometimes I just may stop asking certain questions and just keep moving on. Because I had determined within my spirit that no matter how many times I've made this or that resolution in the past, at 53 years old, and counting on how many summers I got left or whatever, I can't keep wasting time crying about, oh, well, why is so-and-so treating me that way? Why did they talk to me this way? Why come my job is going on this way or that way? Or how come somebody didn't buy a bag today? Or why did this and that go bad? Instead, I'm trying to just find something good, even out of what might be a pissy, sucky situation. Or try not to dwell on it so much and give it too much of my energy and my time. So for me, in 2020, like I said, my situation hasn't changed a whole lot. I thank God for that, because it could have gone a whole lot worse. I could be sick right now. I could be laid up in the hospital somewhere and can't do a video. Or my cell phone could be broke. I might have dropped it and busted it, so I can't do a video. So I just want to help myself to stay encouraged. I want to encourage you. If you're having a rough time right now for whatever the reason is, if you're a Bible reader, the Bible talks about, a good heart doeth like a medicine. A merry heart doeth like a good medicine, so sometimes whatever we let spring up out of us is what is around us. I used to always be, and I still struggle, but I used to always be a very negative person. The glass wasn't half empty or half full. I didn't have a glass. I had a plastic cup. And the plastic cup had a doggone hole in the bottom, so all my juice would sip out. You know what I'm saying? I know that really sounds kind of dumb, but for real. So even if all I got's a plastic cup or one of them red cups, I'm moving up to a glass, but if all I had was a plastic or a styrofoam cup, I'm working on adding more and more to my cup until eventually that cup's gonna spill over, and hopefully I'll be a joy and a blessing to someone. Hopefully when someone's in my company, they'll start feeling a better energy from me. Not just that, damn. How come that? Why so-and-so doing so good and I suck? I don't want to have that kind of energy in my space anymore, because it's so unhealthy. It's so unhealthy. And trust me when I say I know it, because I have allowed myself to be injected with that kind of poison. And sometimes the poison that I went in the kitchen and stirred up and mixed up for my own self and poured in my cup and drank it, which is idiotic, right? Why don't you want to uplift yourself? So my goal, and I encourage your goal to be too, and if you're not already trying to find a better path for yourself, and it doesn't matter whether you're skipping, hopping, jumping, running, or just scooting along on your butt or crawling along on your hands and knees, it's still forward motion. That's all I'm saying. So happy New Year to you from Sandy. Once again, owner and designer at Neo Nappy, Neonapi. Thank you so much for your time today. If your New Year hasn't been happy, if you've had some loss, if you've had some doom and gloom overhanging you, if you've had a loss of a loved one, I sincerely pray that you will in time find peace and comfort to know that, or maybe believe that your loved one is at peace, even if their loss to you was in a tragic way and they were taken from you. Just remember that unfortunately that is part of this life that we live. I can't explain it, and I'm not the one that's going to try to explain it. That's way beyond my scope of knowledge, and I think anybody else, if they have common sense, will not try to explain away your pain to you, because it's not going to go away. But you have to, I think, in my opinion, is try your best to uphold that loved one, keep the memory close to you, honor them by living the best life that you can and honoring them. Okay? So I'm trying to smile as much as I can. I try to smile more. In January, I live here in Indianapolis, Indiana. We've had what I would consider to be an amazing winter because we haven't had a lot of horrible weather. It's, middle of the month in January, and today it's kind of raining outside, kind of cold, maybe a little icy, but it could be so much worse at this time of the year. Dark months, you don't get a lot of sunshine and stuff, so you got to try to create your own sunshine. And once again, I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but I got my reggae playing, love my reggae, my Niger African music, but today I got the reggae dub again, which is one of my favorite types of music. I just find it to be peaceful and somewhat spiritual. So focus on what you like to do, what you love. Try to push away the negative, try to focus on the good. Try to keep your energy around you as positive as you can. And keep your circle, I'd say, keep it small. Like my little unk, keep it small, but keep it meaningful. Let it be powerful and positive in your life. And like I said, for me, it's an everyday choice that I have to make, because for some reason I just have had a dark spirit. I've allowed a dark spirit to kind of stay in my space, and I've just gotten tired of that. It just saps your energy from you. It saps the good out of you. And sometimes I think it can even overtake you, overpower you. So try to change that spirit within. Every day, make positive affirmations to yourself. Say, I love myself. Do things you like. Try to get rid of things you don't like. And that's all. I mean, I think we try to overcomplicate things sometimes, most of the time. Overcomplication, you know, and I think if we get back down to the nuts and bolts of it, it's not really complicated, but because things around us seem so complicated sometimes. And the distractions are everywhere. But I admonish I admonish myself first and foremost to try to make 2020 be that year of change if you need it, or that year of continuation. If you're already on a great path, continue that. But if your path kind of sucks and there's broken glass all along your path, try to find you some shoes with a thicker sole, grow a thicker skin, so everything doesn't just consume you. If you're an empath like me and everything seems to matter and you're concerned about everybody and everything and you get upset over stuff that you can't even control, try to put your blinders on sometimes and move forward and focus on what you got to focus on. All right, so thank you so much again. Ashe, God bless. Peace and prosperity is what I wish for you and for me. And you know, I'll probably do a video more often, maybe now and then, because I feel pretty good in my spirit even doing this video. And when I watch it again, if nobody but me watches it, it's therapy for my doggone self. So peace and blessings within. All right, take care.